Imagine a world where the fuel powering our industries, trucks, and even airplanes is virtually emission-free, and the country controlling this fuel controls the next energy revolution. Now imagine the United States, long a pioneer in tech and industry, watching that future slip away to rivals like China. Could a single decision in Washington change who dominates the trillion-dollar hydrogen economy? To understand this high-stakes moment, let's rewind. Hydrogen's story as a fuel goes back over 160 years. In the 19th century, inventors like Humphrey Davy and Etienne Lenoir experimented with fuel cells and even built the first hydrogen-fueled engines. Yet hydrogen's promise was always limited by high production costs and the lack of infrastructure. Fast forward to the present, and hydrogen is being called the missing link for global decarbonization. Industry analysts are predicting that worldwide demand for clean hydrogen could reach as much as 240 million metric tons per year by the year 2030. To meet this demand, $300 to $500 billion in investment will be needed. Despite the buzz, today only about 1 million tons per year of low-carbon hydrogen is actually being produced globally, mostly in pilot projects and demonstration plants. Hydrogen's environmental impact depends on how it is made. There's gray hydrogen, which is cheap but dirty, made from natural gas without any effort to capture emissions. Blue hydrogen tries to fix this by using carbon capture but still relies on fossil fuels. Green hydrogen, made using renewable energy, is the ultimate goal, but can cost anywhere from $3 to $8 per kilogram, far higher than conventional methods. At these prices, it remains out of reach for most companies. Since the 1970s and the oil crisis, the dream of a hydrogen economy has surfaced again and again. The most recent push came with the Inflation Reduction Act in the United States in 2022. This law, and in particular the so-called 45V tax credit, offered up to $3 per kilogram for producers of clean hydrogen. This subsidy was designed to help close the cost gap and jumpstart American leadership. According to Kim Hedegaard, a hydrogen technology executive, the 45V guidance is a critical milestone in growing the clean hydrogen economy in the U.S., unlocking billions in investments. But now, that progress is at risk. In a political twist, the United States House of Representatives has voted to end the 45V credit for any hydrogen project starting after the end of 2025, instead of extending it to the end of 2029 as many in the industry have urged. Nearly 250 business, union, and energy groups have sounded the alarm. In a letter to Senate leaders, they warned, if this course of action is adopted by the Senate, it will drive tens of billions of dollars in planned private sector investments out of the United States and into other countries. Failing to act now by preserving 45V means ceding the future of hydrogen to China. Why such urgency? Because the cost to produce clean hydrogen is still 2 to 4 times higher than conventional hydrogen. Without government support, private investors could simply shift their focus to countries rolling out friendlier policies, namely China and the European Union. Dustin Meyer from the American Petroleum Institute adds, the 45V guidance encourages innovation while driving progress on emissions and allows natural gas producers to compete more fairly. Meanwhile, the infrastructure challenge remains daunting. As of last year, fewer than 600 hydrogen refueling stations existed worldwide. Scaling up hydrogen use in heavy industry and transport would require massive investments in pipelines, storage, and fueling networks. Investments that could evaporate if investors lose confidence in American policy stability. Politicians now face a stark choice: either extend the tax credit to keep the United States in the race, or risk falling behind as billions in investment chase better opportunities abroad. And with China already investing heavily in hydrogen technology and supply chains, the stakes could not be higher. But will the Senate act in time, or is the United States about to watch the hydrogen revolution pass it by? The answer may reshape the energy world as we know it. So, what happens next? The fate of clean hydrogen in the United States hangs in the balance, not just for politicians but for industries and communities across the country. If the Senate chooses not to preserve the 45V tax credit, the consequences could be swift and severe. Industry insiders warn that tens of billions of dollars in private investment are ready to move elsewhere, most likely to China, which is aggressively scaling up its own hydrogen projects. As Kim Hedegaard from Topso points out, the final 45V guidance is a critical milestone in growing the U.S. clean hydrogen economy, unlocking billions in investments. Losing this momentum now could cede the future of hydrogen innovation and jobs overseas. Imagine a world where American-made hydrogen powers steel plants, cargo ships, and even the trucks on our highways. That vision is within reach, but only if policy stability allows technology and capital to flow. The numbers are staggering. According to the Hydrogen Council, global demand for clean hydrogen could reach as much as 240 million metric tons per year by the end of this decade. Making the United States a leader could mean tens of thousands of new jobs, revitalized manufacturing hubs, and a cleaner industrial base. If the incentives disappear, those factories and innovations may simply land abroad. But there's also a risk even if the credits are kept. If regulations aren't clear, or if infrastructure like refueling stations and pipelines lags behind, the U.S. could still fall short. As of last year, there were fewer than 600 hydrogen refueling stations in the entire world. Building out that network will be just as important as providing financial incentives. Now, what does all of this mean for you, the viewer? Whether you are an entrepreneur, a tech enthusiast, or simply someone concerned about the future of energy, the hydrogen story is a lesson in how quickly global leadership can shift. If policy support wavers, jobs and investment follow. But when government, business, and science align, radical transformation is possible. For those interested in sustainability or looking for the next big industrial revolution, hydrogen is worth watching. Startups and major companies alike are pivoting to clean fuels, and careers in engineering, chemistry, and construction are set to grow. Julie McNamara of the Union of Concerned Scientists reminds us, true progress requires holding companies accountable for producing hydrogen that is genuinely clean, not just labeled so. As consumers and voters, your scrutiny and advocacy matter. So, will the Senate act? As of now, the answer is still up in the air. The clock is ticking. If a decision is not reached before the end of next year, billions in planned projects could vanish from American soil. Meanwhile, countries like China and Germany are ready to capture the market. Here's a secret fact. While the world debates the future of hydrogen, the United States Department of Energy has already set aside $7 billion for regional hydrogen hubs, an unprecedented move that could jumpstart entire new supply chains if the policy stays on track. But this funding is just a spark. Without stable incentives and clear rules, the flame could flicker out. The battle for hydrogen leadership is more than a policy debate. It is a race for the future of energy, jobs, and climate solutions. Will the United States seize the moment, or watch as others claim the prize? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping global technology and economics. Until next time.